Hey guys, Sak here from SAKITECH, and in today's video we're going to be doing an official unboxing of the Samsung Galaxy A8s. Now this is the first smartphone that Samsung has released that happens to have an Infinity O display, also known as the punch hole display. So let's not waste any time and unbox this thing and take a look at what's inside and what to expect if you're considering on buying something like this. Now first and foremost, as you can see, it says 2019, so it's a brand new smartphone. So let's lift up the box. And underneath we have a little package. So remove this. This is going to have some user guides and a case inside here. Also the SIM card ejection tool is in here as well. And then we have a little booklet over here. And then we have the Samsung smartphone with the Infinity O display, as you can see on the top left. So let me take that out real quick. That's the phone. All right, we got triple cameras, a fingerprint sensor on the rear, and then that's what we have in the front. Let me put that aside for a second. In the box, you got the power adapter. All right, this is the international version, so that's the one you get. You have the USB Type-C port, the cable, and also you have the regular earbuds that you get with a lot of the Samsung smartphones that work great and do the job very well. And of course, these are USB Type-C headphone jacks because the Samsung Galaxy A8s does not have a 3.5mm headphone jack, as you can see. Now we do have a USB Type-C port. We've got a single speaker grill. This is not going to be stereo speakers. We have a triple camera in the rear with a little flashlight, and of course the fingerprint sensor. And then let's turn this thing on. I want you guys to see exactly what it looks like. So on the front, that's what we have. That's the Samsung Galaxy A8s with the hole punch display. That's going to be on the top left. As you know, on the Samsung Galaxy S10 and the S10 Plus and the S10e, it's going to be on the right side. All right. So anyway, let me just quickly talk about the specs on this thing. It does have a Snapdragon 720 processor, 6 gigabytes of RAM, or you can get 8 gigabytes of RAM if you want. It's got 128 gigabytes of internal storage, and you do have the capacity to add additional storage via a micro SD expansion slot. Now, real quick, this camera on the front is a 24 megapixel f2.0 camera. It does a decent job of getting selfies. On the rear, we do have triple cameras. Now these triple cameras on the rear have a main shooter which is 20 megapixels with an aperture of f1.7, while the other two cameras are 10 megapixels and a 5 megapixel camera. Now the 5 megapixel camera has a depth sensor, and it is designed to offer better portrait shots by using this camera to get you better background blur. Now these cameras get the job done, but I wouldn't expect them to offer anything close to quality of a Note 9 Pixel or an iPhone camera. Also, you only get to record in 30 frames per second if you decide to record video in 1080p or 4K, and it lacks optical image stabilization, but you do get video stabilization in the software sense. Now the screen, and I'm going to go into the software in a little bit, but the screen on this thing is, it's an IPS LCD display. It's 1080p. And it's that's it. It's not a Quad HD Plus resolution. It is not an OLED display as you would expect from a flagship, but this is still a very gorgeous and bright screen. And again, for an average user, you're not gonna be disappointed unless you are used to the premium sensation of the latest phones, such as the iPhone XS Max or the Galaxy Note 9, S9, S9 Plus, and stuff like that. All right, so anyway, let's dive into the software and take a look at that punch hole display a little bit closer and see how it looks like when you're playing games, playing movies, and all that good stuff, even as you browse the device. All right, let's dive in. All right, so here's the phone we have. I just want to show you guys really quickly that this one is actually running Android 8.0, but it's going to be getting an update very soon to the One UI that is going to be the Android 9.0 Pie. So if I go to the About phone right now, and if I go over here to the software information, you'll see that this is Android 8.0, Samsung Experience version 9.5. This is going to be replaced with One UI, and that's going to be 9.0 Pie. Now, with this being Android 8, you get the same kind of interface you would see on a Samsung Galaxy Note 9, S9, S8, as long as they're running Android 8.0 with Samsung Experience. So if you go to the settings over here, You've got all the same look and feel, all right? You've got device maintenance over here that is standard on most Samsung smartphones. If you go to the battery, you see the same options you would see on those smartphones, and then that's it, okay? Now, as I traverse through the menu, I want you guys to take a look at this hole on the top, and as you can see, it is not getting in the way of anything, okay? So it looks real nice and cool. And if I launch the phone application, same exact story, okay? It doesn't get in the way. It looks much better than a notch in my opinion. And then if I go to the messages, that's what you get on the top, okay? So the search bar is right at the bottom. It doesn't look as intrusive as a notch, and it's almost symmetrical, doesn't look so bad, all right? And if I go to the internet, of course, again, that's how you browse the web. Absolutely fantastic. If I go to the news over here, as you can see, I'm browsing the web. It looks pretty good. All right. And then again, if I go to the settings, if I do go into display, I can go to the full screen apps. And from here, I can decide if I want to hide the camera. So I can tap on this one and the camera is gone. I'm not liking the way this looks because it gives me a very large and thick bar on the top that is taking away from a lot of the real screen real estate. So I'm just going to unhide this. That looks much better. And then over here, you have the option to play apps in full screen, or you can play them this way. Okay, so if I play a video on YouTube, I can choose to hide this bar on the top. Use this bar on the top and hide the camera. But if I actually enable the full screen version of those apps, for example, in YouTube right now, I have the full screen enabled. It's going to look it's going to fill the entire display, and there's going to be a small hole at the bottom. I'm going to show you exactly how that looks like, both in gaming and as well in video watching. But yeah, beyond that, we're going to get to that in a second. You get the same options here. You can do the list view. All right, not too bad. And of course, once the Samsung One UI appears on the phone, it's going to look a little bit different. I'm sure you have seen other videos showcasing the One UI. Alright, so let's look at some games and some of the videos. Alright, so let's launch YouTube, go right into the app and see what it looks like to watch a video in full screen mode. So let's tap on YouTube over here and let's just play this video. Let me just kill the volume really quickly. Alright, volume is dead, boom, so it doesn't interfere. Alright, so when the video first starts, let me just skip this advertisement, it takes a couple seconds here. Okay, so when the video first starts, it's going to be as any other phone. There's going to be two black bars on this side and this side trying to give you the full video viewing experience. But if you do a zoom to fill with your fingers just like that, now as you can see, the entire screen is filled and you have a little hole in the bottom that is inside your video. Now this is going to be much better than a notch that you find on the iPhones or the other Android smartphones that are using a notch. In my opinion, this is much better. With the notch, it cuts into the display from the side, but with a hole, it's at the bottom over here, and it's much smaller in volume, and it's also just looks better. And again, that's my opinion. You guys can let me know what you think. Okay, so that is the video watching experience. Again, in my opinion, looks absolutely fantastic to enjoy nice movies. Now let's go back out and do a game. All right, well, let's kill that. I do have a game over here, a racing game, so let's launch that, see how that looks. So this one is the Asphalt 9 by Gameloft, and let's wait for it to load up. And it's a pretty fast phone. It's not a slow phone, not as fast as the latest phones, but it's still pretty fast. So let's tap on play. All right, let's just click on play. And then click on play, and let's see how the whole thing looks like. I do want you guys to see how the entire thing looks like with a hole in the display, especially if you are buying a phone for media consumption. It's good to know these things, and there it is, okay? Again, just like the video, not very intrusive. The graphics are pretty nice on this little smartphone. You can drift just like that. That's the nitros. Let's tap on that. All right. So you can see how the game looks as I'm playing the game. All right. Fantastic. Let's do a nitro boost. All right. The whole time that holds at the bottom here doesn't even bother me in the least. At least when I first saw the notch phones, they were much more bothersome than this. So now we have this superior Infinity O display, at least this is going to be the stepping stone before we see true all-screen displays with completely built-in sensors all over the place. All right, but that's it. That's the gameplay experience on these Infinity O displays. All right, so that brings us to the end of this video. It's a nice mid-range smartphone. It's going to cost you around $400 to $500. I would recommend that instead of getting something like this, unless you really like the Infinity O display, you can get something like the Poco phone, as long as the notches don't bother you, or you can even get a OnePlus. Again, if the notch doesn't bother you. In my opinion, this is better than the notch. It gives you a nice mid-range experience. You're not going to be able to play all the high-end games at maximum performance, but you're going to be able to do everything else no problem. Browsing, calling, taking photos, even though, again, they're not going to be high-end. But then again, if you're on a budget and if you want the Infinity O, this is a phone to consider. It does have Samsung's deep and rich software customization features that you would find on all the Samsung smartphones. All right, for example, you can pinch the screen and you can go to the home screen settings. You've got all these customization options. You can pull down the notifications panel just like that with a swipe on the screen and all that good stuff. All right, now if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know down below. Let me know what you guys think about the punch hole display. And of course, for now, guys, have a fantastic day. Do not forget to subscribe to SAKITECH.